Hey everybody, welcome to Tpull's Corner. This is Travis, and we've had September rotations, so this deck is no longer valid. I have to play it in Historic. But there were a couple of decks that I didn't get to that I had made prior to the September rotation that I think are just really fun decks, really good decks, and this is one of them. So we're gonna take it out in Historic. There's 81 cards. It's called Terrible Power. We have 37 creatures in there and 32 lands because we have the extra cards, right? So what was the average cost is 4.5. So this is actually one of the more expensive decks that I've made, and you can see for the mana curve it's got a lot of 5 and 6 cost cards. So here's what we're looking at: Academic Dispute, so we can get into our sideboard, and we have a little bit of almost every color in there. We've got Jaspara Sentinel, Cinderclasm, 4 copies of Elysian Caryatid for evening up my mana as I need, Lotus Cobra for something similar, 2 copies of Kroxa, 1 Broken Wings to get rid of target artifact, enchantment, or creature with flying, 3 Charge of the Forever Beast to destroy creatures, deals damage from a creature that I have, the power of a creature that I have in my hand still, not on the battlefield, 4 Cultivates for ramp because I'm using 4 different colors, and I really do need the ability to, 3 colors. I'm using black, red, and green. But I need a lot of mana. So I usually just stick 1 or 2 Cultivates in my decks with ramp. This we needed 4. Llanowar Visionary to draw a card as well when we draw him down onto the battlefield. Thrashing Brontodon, I'm usually using him to destroy a target artifact or enchantment as well. 1 Daemogoth Titan from Strixhaven. Whenever he attacks or blocks, you sacrifice a creature. And Thunder Snapper, whenever you cast a spell with mana value 5 or greater, draw a card. This guy's sort of like a pinch hitter if I get him down, because I got all these other cards that are a lot more. So 1 Unbreakable Bond, if I lose one of these guys, or if I have to discard, I can get him back onto the battlefield with a lifelink counter. 1 Clockbridge Troll, Trample and Haste. You have to sacrifice a creature in order to stop him from attacking, and there's a cost to that. Nyxborn Brute, 7/3. 4 Terror of the Peaks, flying creature with 5/4 and a special ability that we'll get back to in a minute. 1 Auspicious Starks that you can mutate over other creatures, and he has a lovely ability where you can exile cards from the top of your library and bring those into the battlefield. Garruk's Gorehorn, a 7/3 beast. Battle Mammoth, a 6/5 with trample that you can foretell for a cheaper cost. Elder Gargaroth, 6/6 creature with Vigilance, Reach, and Trample. Ironscale Hydra, 5/5 Hydra. If a creature tries to deal combat damage to Ironscale Hydra, you prevent all that damage and put a 1/1 counter on Ironscale Hydra, which means Death Touch isn't going to hurt him. 1 copy of Burning Rune Demon, a 6/6 Flying Berserker, and when he enters the battlefield, you can search your library for a couple other cards, and you reveal those. The opponent chooses one of them, and that chosen card goes into your hand. The other one goes back into your graveyard. Mortal Phoenix, 5/3 flyer that returns to its owner's hand when it dies. Ravenous Lindworm, 6/6 worm that gains 4 life when it enters the battlefield. I'm not sure Vorinclex needs any introduction from the Kaldheim expansion. 6/6 Trample Haster doubles the counters and cuts your opponent's counters in half. Kogla the Titan Ape, 7/6. When he enters the battlefield, he fights up to 1 target creature, and whenever he attacks, you can destroy a target artifact or enchantment. Gloomsour, I like putting this guy, whenever I have a deck that I need a really powerful creature in, I tend to use him. He seems to be one of the most powerful ones that Black has. 8/6 Horror, whenever he becomes blocked by a creature, that creature's controller loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Cragplate Baloth, a 6/6 creature that the spell can't be countered with hexproof and haste, and you can kick him for more. Greater Sandworm. You can cycle this one if you want, but he's a 7/7 worm. Can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. Rampaging Brontodon, 7/7 dinosaur with trample. Whenever he attacks, you get +1/+1 for every land you control. So if you have the full 7 lands you needed to summon him, he becomes a 14/14 trampler. Thorn Mammoth, much like Kogla. Whenever he enters the battle, he fights up to 1 target creature you don't control, except here's the other kicker. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, Thorn Mammoth fights another creature you don't control. So if you can get him down early and then just keep bringing other creatures in, Thorn Mammoth is going to clear the field for you. Tree Shaker Chimera, all creatures able to block him do so when he attacks, and when he dies, draw 3 cards. Bookworm from Strixhaven, 7/7 Trampler. When he enters the battlefield, you gain 3 life, draw a card. And if he's in the graveyard, you can put him third from the top in your library. The Great Henge, classic legendary artifact. You can tap it for 2 greens to add 2 life. And whenever a creature enters the battlefield, you get a +1/+1 counter on it. It has to be a non-token creature, so usually something you summon. Put a counter on it and draw a card. And finally, Titaneth Rex, an 11/11 dinosaur beast with Trample. Okay, now, the reason why I have so many cards and it's so top-heavy is, here's the concept. Terror of the Peaks. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, Terror of the Peaks deals damage equal to that creature's power to any target. So you can target your enemy's creatures, or you can target your enemy and just hit him in the face. And what I did was I basically sorted through the cards that I had available to me at the time, and I looked for everything that had as much as or more power than Terror of the Peaks. I looked for things that were overweighted that had more power than they had health. Toughness, I should say. So you see here, Nyxborn Brute is easy to kill, but he's 7/3. So I don't really care if I lose him. If I've got one of the 4 Terror of the Peaks out and Nyxborn Brute comes into play, I get to deal 7 damage to something right away. It's okay to lose him for that later, right? So all of these others are power 6 or greater. 7/3 is the same deal. 6/5, you notice. Everything's got at least the same power or greater power than they have toughness. That's all by design, because the whole point is I just want to get Terror of the Peaks down and then start bringing them in and dealing the damage. There's a chance for like double dealing or triple dealing, because you can have a couple of terrors down at the same time, or maybe you have a terror down and you get a Kogla down. So you get to have Kogla fight a creature and you get to deal the same amount of damage from terror. What's interesting is the damage comes from terror, but he assumes the power of the creature you summon. It's in the wording of the text. Terror of the Peaks deals damage equal to that creature's power to any target. So if we bring in Thorn Mammoth, Terror of the Peaks only has power 5, but he's going to deal the 6 damage. The 6 damage doesn't come from Thorn Mammoth. The damage comes from Terror. So if there's 2 big creatures that your enemy has, you can bring in Thorn Mammoth, have him fight 1 creature, and have the same amount of damage from Thorn Mammoth be dealt from Terror of the Peaks to the second creature. So if your enemy, even if your enemy outnumbers you, there is potential for you to even things up and take the upper hand with this deck. So when it's popping, it is just a joy to behold. And we that's why we had to include a bunch of ramp, more than I usually do in most of my other decks. I got all 4 of the Caryatids, got all 4 of the Cultivates, got a Lotus Cobra, got a Despair Sentinel. All of that's mostly just for ramp, so I can, even Llanowar Visionary to draw a card and add a green mana. Some versions of ramp in the lower 1, 2, 3 cost, just so I can get into this upper range as soon as possible. Alright, that's the deck. We're going to take it out for a spin. We're playing in Historic now, so it should be harder. And let me know if you like this stuff. Like and subscribe it, leave a comment, share it with a friend, all that kind of good stuff. Thank you. Here we go. Alright, all we need is 1 more land, and the ramp will take care of the rest. That was not ramp. That was not land. There we go. Alright. Let's go get the 2 black mana I need for Clackbridge. Can I ramp again? He is. Wow. Okay, in that case, we need Forest. Done. Aha. I like that you did that. You're all tapped out. I don't have to worry about counter spells now. Nice. Get some draw card advantage right now, actually. So, if I'm wondering if I should come down and destroy one of these. Probably should. Let's destroy that one. And what else would I need? Maybe one more mountain? Alright. Let's do that. I don't think he's going to draw two. There we go. We're not going to let him send away my Clackbridge Troll, though. I don't know if we can help it. Does he have a second mutate creature? Okay, now he goes to draw two. Okay, this will be kind of fun. Man, nothing to sacrifice anymore. Blue's used to controlling one threat a turn. Oh, hello. That was kind of cool. I didn't expect him to have that for some reason. Oh, he didn't want to hang around. That was everything he had? All right. Okay. The biggest thing right now is I'm hoping they don't kill my 1/1. How do we want to do this? Oh, that way. I have enough creatures already. You're tapped out pretty much, so... Yeah, Iron Scale Hydra's kind of a pain unless you can clamp them down. Okay, the cool thing is when you start to be able to cast 2 spells per turn. And that's... Hello. Do you have no other basic lands? You have all... You only had 3 basic lands in your whole deck and that was all you had. Okay. Well, first, we're going to do Kroxa. We'll let them choose what to discard. I'm hoping they don't have a land in their hand. Okay, so we get rid of 2-1. That's not really a big deal, but we have enough to cast our second spell. And we're going to target that puppy with our Vorinclex. And then it's time to attack with Iron Scale Hydra. We'll use Brontodon as our defender. And let's get rid of the Scoot Swarm. Using the same guy. And we'll bring this one. Yep, that's all he needed. That was all it took. And you notice in all cases, what basically happened was I had enough mana that I started to play 2 spells a turn instead of 1 spell a turn. And that's basically the trick to overwhelming your opponent. We're not in the standard 2022 anymore. We went to historic, where things should be tougher, right? Maybe I finally built a good deck. It was good enough for historic. Well, this is not ideal. We're used to getting more powerful cards up front. That's fine. Does he want to go for a cheap spell or a powerful spell that scares him to death? Okay. Looks like we found the right card. That was pretty quick. Ah, the green I needed. Isn't that just perfect? That's what we get for winning our first couple of matches, right? Let's give you no green and make sure... Oh no, not this card. Let's discard another card. Because they're all useless to us right now, right? And the sorting algorithm has made that the only green that I had goes away. All right. Let's go get the black too. Do the control. Tiny Bones Trinket Thief. I want to play this card. Lose 3 life instead of discard a card. And we'll go get some more land. And after all that, we got about the same land, and I don't really have creatures. Three, 6. Let's get rid of that one. I have to discard a card? Where's that one? Oh, there. Okay. Shoot. Alright, we get 4 life back. Easy come, easy go. He got exactly all the discard stuff he needed, didn't he? If you attack, whenever you discard. That was just flawless. Well, maybe I should have mulliganed at the beginning when I had no green. But I still suspect conspiracy. Alright. Technically, I think this is... I don't want to say it's a perfect hand, but it is pretty good. Getting rid of 1,000-Year Storm. It's going to be one of those decks. Okay, let's see if I can go faster than it does. Green and black. Color don't matter. Still get my 2 points of damage in. So I'm not the only one who can cultivate, I see. So many choices. Let's do this. Okay, so he's not ready to deal with that. Instant or sorcery, or to gain a class level. Okay. This can get tricky. Let's try this. Let's go get the second swamp. I feel like he's got a counterspell. Okay. This is where everything starts to come together, yes? Will this work? Or do you have a counterspell? Okay, I have enough to kill you then, don't I? Just fast enough to beat him. Okay, we can get the green. It's really what we need. I do have a couple of graveyard spells, so this can sort of interfere with my wishes. Let's get rid of Demagoth. And this is a tough one. I've got the 2 reds. I guess I'm going for greens. I need my Caryatid for the 4th green to get the snapper down, though. Oh, never mind. He gets to see stuff. And take stuff. Okay, still get snapper. Might have removal. That's enough for him. That's all he wanted to risk. He doesn't want me to bring either one of those back out. He's got another one, though.
I dwell in the shadows. Much easier on my skin. Don't think you'll be needing that.
Okay.
All I've left you is pain.
Let's just target the, no, actually, we'll target that guy. Show what we have. And then we can attack and get rid of him entirely. Although I do like the artwork on that guy.
This has been a waste of my time.
So we've got a deck that's themed around emptying your hand and emptying your graveyard. But he's done too good a job. There isn't a whole lot left here. And I was able to outpace him. And I see no reason to keep anything in my hand. And would he have blood on the snow if he doesn't have any snow in it?
If I won't be given a second chance, I'll make my own. Well, darn.
That does
Looks
not
like
help you.
Flunked out. Mwah.
I don't think they thought that through. Yeah, that's the ability of Immortal. This is usually when they scoop, actually, but whatever. Ah, never mind. I was right. Scoop you shall. Well, it's turning out the discard is very popular in Historic. We've seen one discard match where they had like the perfect hand and got rid of us, basically, and another one where we outpaced it quite handily. Our issue is really we need to have some sort of ramp, which means the Caryatid and or Cultivate. If we don't have something like that early on, then we could just get completely swarmed by aggro. That's the big reason we lose the most. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go get the couple of reds we need. No attacks. Gross.
I will not give up on my god. My sand will protect you.
I can't kick that, so we're done there. He needs to be able to destroy Terra. If he just pacifies it, I'll still be around.
I trust in your abilities.
Perfect. Okay. We will bring down Kroxa. Tap him. We're just going to deal the damage and get rid of him immediately then. You get to keep the knight. You still have to discard a card first, though.
Retreat
Excellent.
and regroup.
Okay, next I can put down that. And I still have enough to cultivate. So let's see. I have the 2 reds and... Okay, I'll just get 2 forests then. Now you could tap the Terror. Can you kill the Terror? No, you can't. Well, I was going to put down the Henge. 3, 4, 5, 6, but it's more important that I put down the Sandworm. Bam! And now... Oh, I should have put down the Henge with the Caryatid instead of attacking with Caryatid. Well, as long as he doesn't have... He can't have a Doomscar right away. I'm not really concerned if he completely eliminates my Greater Sandworm, because I'm having so much fun with the deck. I don't want things to end too early, right? So we'll put down the Henge. He taps us again. Okay, that is going to prolong things. We will just increase our life, put down a land, and we need a couple more creatures before we can bring Kroxa back out. If we do Cinderclasm, all we do is kill our own Caryatid. Do you have 2 more of those? You can take yourself down to maybe 3 life? Oh, now it's time for some fun. Do the damage to you. Bring down another one. do the damage to you. Ta-da! That's how it's done. Okay, that's the deck. We could play this deck forever, I think, actually. When it works right, when we get just enough of the ramp cards out, it allows us to put things out so quickly that the enemy's just overwhelmed. And, oh man, I just can't say enough good things about this deck. It was fun to play in the old standard. It's nice to know from this test that it fares so well in Historic. I had at least... well, I had a greater than 50% win rate so far. But I wanted to show one other thing. You see the ones that are no longer any good. This is because we created this in Standard, and then they had the September rotation, and suddenly all these other cards get grayed out because, you know, they're from Theros Beyond Death, or, you know, Throne of Eldraine, or Core 2021. Those are no longer valid cards to use in the Standard. So, all you do is you go here, click on the face, go to Deck Details, change Standard to Historic. And then go on back, and they're all clear again. All right, so that way when we are done, we can just go play this in Historic whenever we feel like. And we don't have to worry about the grayed out cards that make it harder to read everything. All right, so the deck list is in the text below on YouTube. Go ahead and try this out for yourself. See how it works. I can practically guarantee you will have fun playing this deck. All right. I think we're going to leave it there. This is Travis for Tpull's Corner, reminding you to like and subscribe, share the video, spread the word of our presence, and we'll see you next time. Have a good one.